Baddies. My voice cracked a little bit on the end there. What's up, baddies? Welcome back to the Jool Effect podcast. Jool Effect podcast episode 8. Back again on the weekly schedule. As I said, we are back with some consistent content. And oh boy, have I got something special for you guys today. I always have like a bunch of ideas about the podcast the week previous. Like I finish recording it and then I'm like next week I could do X, Y, and Z or this, that, and the third or this and that or that. And this week, I had let me backtrack. So last week I went to one of my friend's house on Saturday, like the whole day, because I was having a rough weekend initially, and her and I watched 3 movies. Okay, so we watched the first Transformers because I don't know, for some reason I was like, I need to see this because I hadn't watched it ever since I was like, oh god, like 5 or 6, when it came out. And I was like, okay, I need to see it. I need to consume it. Let me see it. At least I get to see Megan Fox. Let me see how badly they objectify her, that kind of thing. And so we watched it, and then we watched the second Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. We watched that one as well, which we were like, we should have watched something else because it wasn't that good. And then thirdly, we did one of my favorite activities, activities, which is the following. Sometimes I go through a period, and it's usually one night. It happens once every couple months time, whatever, where I need to watch a really bad Sapphic movie. I'm not talking gay content, not man on man or male presenting individual. I'm talking Sapphic, usually girl or whatever, that kind of content. I need something bad, which I could probably do a review of my favorite Sapphic movies because I do have a couple good ones, but the bad ones, I would say, if you guys know, you guys obviously know, if you watch Drew Gooden, he made that video about Christmas mail, and he explained that Christmas movies are at like a baseline, like they're just okay. You find some that are better than that, and those are pretty good. But if you find one that's worse, you have something special. And that's what we have today. Now, I usually do a little preamble before I get into the topic, but I really don't have time for it today because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly. These past 3 weeks of my life have been, kind of bad, not going to lie. I've been going through a lot, but I had a boring week for the most part. So we're hoping for more boring content. Plugging my commissions. I'm going to put the link to my commission form in the comments of this video. If you're interested in some custom content from me, please click the link, fill it out. Prices are very cheap. I can pump them out really fast. That is if you are interested and you have the means in supporting me in that manner. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the link, the description of this video, excuse me. And also, just dropped the second part to my Your English Crush series yesterday. We get 2 videos a week this week. That came up. I worked really, really hard on that script, on the video. I already have ideas about how I'm going to continue the series because I'm going to continue it. And so far, I've gotten some pretty good feedback from you guys, but I know a lot of you were anticipating and really wanting a part 2 to that video, which I finally gave it to you. And I also am working on the second part to my Let Me Fix You series, which I just finished the script and I have to get set out time to record. But that one is going to be, oh gosh, it's excuse me, it's going to be my most ambitious project yet. my most ambitious audio yet. Excuse me, I'm gonna turn up my game real fast. It's going to be my most ambitious, most probably hardest audio I've ever had to make, which includes the ones I used to do on Reddit, where, I have to do a lot of editing. But this one may take me more than one day to do, because typically I write the script writing process is what takes the ample amount of time for me. Because, sometimes you don't have the idea, or sometimes I write out the little like preambles that I put in the description to kind of get you like ready for the storyline I have in store. And then the audio itself is like a continuation of it. I usually can write those once I have an idea for the audio. I'll sit down and be like, I want the audio to be that. And then I can sit down and then write in the character. And then, I'll take a break, come back 2 to 3 days later, and actually get to start writing the script. So I was writing the Your English Crush and the Let Me Fix You script at the same time, and I actually finished them both yesterday. So both of those audios should be coming out, and I'm actually working on another script as well, because I'm trying to like work on as much content as I'm also posting, so I don't have to like have like no baseline, you know what I'm saying? So I can just constantly have something like on the back burner and stuff like that, which doesn't count my improv audios, because those are usually like really, really passionate ideas that I'm like, I need to do this, which is what Messages from Her was. If you've gotten a chance to listen to that audio, that was a very like, wow, I really like the idea of doing like a vignette style phone messages thing, something really, 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 really kind of abstract, something not necessarily I'm holding your hand through, something you have to make your own interpretations about, which I actually got a comment about how somebody, commented, they were like, oh, I don't really understand this. And I was like, that's kind of the point, everything I make on my channel, because I've had a lot of people ask, will there be a part 2 for Messages from Her? I've got a lot of comments being like, please make a part 2, please make a part 2. It is not on my priority list at the moment. I'm going to let you know. So it is not on my priority list whatsoever. That story I told, it's initially supposed to be a one-off. It is. Because not everything I make on this channel will have a part 2. Not every, character I introduce on this channel will have a part 2 or a continuation, because sometimes one part, that's all you get for a story. And sometimes the story I want to tell will be sad, will not be happy. It will not leave you satisfied. It won't give you those good feelings, because sometimes I might be in the mood to make something a little bit more melancholic, something a little bit more sad, not necessarily something uplifting or warm or I guess nurturing. Like sometimes I'm not in the mood to do that, and that's what that video was. That video was darker. That video was toxic. That video was unhealthy. I was portraying somebody who has a very unhealthy obsession with the individual that they like, but unhealthy to the point of they would allow them to continue to mistreat them, knowing they were mistreating them. Excuse me, got a little tickle in my throat. My voice is a little tired from recording yesterday, so you guys get like a little gravel, sick voice, sick throat. But yeah, so all my videos may not have a part 2 to them sometimes. And also, I'm also changed around some stuff in the formatting of my channel. So if you go to the playlist part of my channel, I have the whatever the hell I want tab, which I'm going to be doing some more videos for soon, which those are just going to be commentary videos or more gaming videos. I have my podcast playlist, which is where this one's going to go, this exact video. And I have my roleplay audio video, which has the mass of all the role plays I'm going to do. But then I just made another one called the Your English Crush series, which obviously is going to denote all the videos of that specific series in that specific playlist, which is how I want to do it, because I do plan on having some longer series for the channel. I have some ideas where I can span series out, maybe 4 or 5 videos, 4 or 5 parts, something like that, something really, really long to where, I don't want you to have to sift through every single one of the video within the roleplay audio playlist because I'm planning to have a lot of audios that I upload. So I was figuring like, oh, I could just put a specific thing if you want that series, because then you could sit down and then listen to the entire thing and then see how the story goes into one another. So that's just some updates, but back to what I was saying was a lot of people, have things to talk about in the comments. And obviously, I open up all constructive criticism for my comments. But sometimes I'm not going to be able to give you what you want. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to give you that part two. I'm not going to be able to give you that satisfaction, that closed loop. Because sometimes I might not want to. Sometimes as a story that I tell, that just might be it right there. And it's no hard feelings to you guys as my listeners, no hard feelings to you guys. I'm not saying like fuck you, I don't want to do another one. It's I think that is the conclusion. I think that's the organic ending to a storyline, me as a creator. And I don't think I would want to write another part to something that I think should have ended, because then I have to like kind of bullshit it and everything. And I'm not saying that messages from her is that video, because I do have some ideas about how I would extend it. I have some ideas about what I could do to extend it. But some other videos that I could make possibly in the future, if I say like this is the only part, then that most likely is going to be the only part that you'll get. So I just want to clear that up. But back to the original point. I go through raids sometimes, okay? I go through raids sometimes where I'm like, I need to watch some really bad Sapphic movies, okay? I need to watch something just bad. And you know what? Actually, when I was at my friend's house this past weekend, we were looking for a bad one because I was like, well, we finished the second Mummy movie. And she was like, do you want to watch another? And it was like kind of late, but I was like, yeah, I could fit in another movie. Like if it's something I can like laugh at, I can stay awake, because I was a little tired. And she was like, well, what do you like to watch? And I was like, I really like bad like lesbian movies. So we were like, well, we have to find one. So we were on Hulu. I have to burp. We were on Hulu, and I was like, wow. This is Hulu. Okay, let's go to the LGBTQIA tab. Let's see. And Hulu didn't really have any like bad ones. I was like, what is happening? What's this? What the fuck is this? And we went to Netflix. Netflix didn't have any like really bad like heater. The only one I can think of is like if you guys have ever seen A Perfect Ending. That one is like, it's not awful, it's just there's so much sex, and I'm like, good lord. Jesus. And then the ending is like, what in the hell? But anyway, yeah, so there's just a bunch that I saw on Netflix and Hulu that I'm like, these aren't fitting the bad criteria. These are like they were all in the benchmark. They were all just like okay, just lesbian movies, like none of them were like the special bad ones. But then I remembered a streaming service. If you guys know the streaming service Tubi, okay, Tubi, it's free. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and check it out, it's free. They actually have some pretty high profile movies on their platform, but they do have ads, so that's why they can like get away with having specific stuff for free, because Hulu and Netflix are obviously through like a subscription series and whatnot, but Tubi is completely free. You can download the app on your phone today, and just go ahead and just start watching movies if you want. You just have to deal with ads. But I was like, Tubi has some really bad movies, because Tubi has some really low budget movies. And I'm not saying that all low budget movies are bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Venn diagram for low budget movies and lesbian movies being bad, that circle in the middle it's pretty big. It's quite vast. It's a little large, if I'm gonna be honest with you. So that's where we're gonna get into today. We're gonna talk about a movie that well, that's actually a lie. that was the preamble. That was my preamble. Tubi is where I find a lot of my low budget lesbian movies to watch because it's fun for me to watch low budget lesbian movies. It's actually quite amusing, quite fun to see. Just the same story in different fonts. You know what I'm saying? Or like if I can tell what the plot is going to be from the synopsis of a movie and whatnot. Because my roommate and I watched one this past weekend that like the synopsis was not accurate at all. We were like, what the fuck is going on? So that was fun. But this movie today, I saw off Netflix. And it was one of those evenings. It was around like 2 a.m. And I was just on little Netflix and I was like, I think I want to watch a lesbian movie. And I didn't know like if I wanted to be bad or anything like that. I was like, I was like, I think I'm gonna watch one. So yeah, I go to Netflix and you type in LGBT or yeah, and I see a movie called Below Her Mouth. Okay, and first of all, the first thing that latched out to me was the poster because it featured a half naked woman, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, tight, sweet. I guess, I guess that's cool. And also, I saw that it featured a mask or masculine presenting woman, which, that is definitely a a little like, oh, okay, because there is a difference between lesbian movies. Because I don't know if you guys know, but there isn't a lot of mask representation within media in the first place, especially within lesbian movies. We usually have a mask person as the best friend or like an ex. Never the love interest themselves or one of the other protagonists themselves. So it's very interesting sometimes, but the protagonist, which we're saying they are the main character, they are not the hero. The protagonist of Below Her Mouth is played by Erika Linder, who is a Swedish model, and they work as a roofer. Well, she works as a roofer in this story. This story, it takes place in Toronto, Canada, and it tells the story between Dallas, who is Erika Linda's character, and what's her name? Natalie Krill. Natalie Krill, that's it. Her character, whose name is Jasmine in the story. So it's a story between Dallas and Jasmine within this universe of Below Her Mouth. And I'm just going to go ahead and run through the plot right now. I know a lot of my friends, when I said I was going to do this movie on Twitter, were like, oh my God, Julian, no, do not. So I'm going to do it because I have a habit of showing this movie to my other Sapphic friends and individuals because it is, oh boy, it's a heater. It is not the worst lesbian movie I've ever seen, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not. That title goes to a movie that's on Tubi, and I might review that one if you ask nicely. So, Below Her Mouth. It tells a story of Dallas, who is a roofer in was Toronto a province? I don't fucking know. A city. Yeah, Toronto. Is it a city? I'm on Wikipedia right now. Capital city of Canadian province of Ontario. There you go. So, in Toronto. And she works as a roofer. Okay. And then we have Jasmine, who is a stylist, fashion designer. I think she's an editor of a fashion magazine. I think that's what they said. Okay. So, there's a certain choice sometimes when people begin a movie. Okay. And this movie, the director made the choice, which the director is either femme presenting or a woman. So I can't even say this movie is bad because it's directed by a man. Because it is not. It is not. It is directed by a woman. In fact, I'm pretty sure the director and the writer are both women. So this is a female-led movie, which I'm like, how did you let this happen? But the movie begins with Dallas, a roofer who owns her own company in Toronto, Then we have Jasmine, who works as a fashion editor. And like I said, they make the choice to begin the movie with a sex scene. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And this sex scene at the beginning of the movie is definitely supposed to, tell us, hey, Dallas isn't really like into this person that she's having sex with, but she's such a badass mask woman. She's gonna make her come. Yeah, yeah. Like it's so bizarre what's going on, because first of all, the physics of the scene, the way she's moving, I'm like, that's not how that works. And secondly, her face, she just has this like dead stare, like her eyes are like sunken, like sullen in, and her mouth is like kind of like agape. Then she like clenches her jaw and she's like moving. Then the woman underneath her is, doing her thing, yeah, she's having a good time. Dallas is not, but she's having a good time. And then we hit a climax, so good for Dallas. 1 point for Dallas. And then she rolls off of her. She rolls off of her, and the girl goes, "Oh, did you come?" And she goes, "A little bit." She says, "A bit." Now, I'm not here to shit on people who are not trained in acting, okay? Because Erika Linder is a model, okay? She is a model. She is a famous androgynous masculine model. So I'm not here to shit on her acting ability. Just kidding. Yes, I am. Because this woman is a lacquered armoire at best in this fucking movie. This woman is so wooden and absolutely stoic. Even in the lines where she is supposed to have some sort of banter, some sort of emotion, oh my God, it is not there. It is just not there. And I think that's one of the biggest fallbacks of the movie is these two women have no chemistry together whatsoever. But we're going to get into that later. So that's how the movie begins. We begin with a sex scene, and these two women are laying in the bed. She goes, "Did you come?" A bit. There's a line. Then the other girl she has having sex with is like, "I'm in love with you." And Dallas is like, "I'm moving out." So we get introduced that Dallas, she is not a woman who's down for any commitment. This bitch goes through women like plastic water bottles. Damn. She going through them like a deck of cards, okay? She not down for that real. She only here for something that's going to make her feel good. Which, did it really make her feel good? Because she looked like she was suffering during the sex scene. I'm going to be honest with you. But we are introduced to the fact that Dallas is a player and is not interested in commitment, okay? And that's how the movie begins. Let me contrast that to Jasmine. Our introduction scene into Jasmine is her relationship she has with her soon-to-be husband, Raul. Yeah, I think that's his name. Raul? Yeah, Rile. Raul. And they live in a nice little swanky upstate little like house in Toronto. So we are introduced to some money, rich, a little bit of money, and their relationship is kind of introduced to this idea that it's boring. She's bored. And we also get the moving action of the movie, which is how the affair begins. Is Ryle is going to Arizona for 3 days for like some business thing that they don't really just explain. He's going to Arizona for 3 days, and Jasmine's like, "Oh, okay," and then come back, and then their wedding is like TikTok, like it's coming. So Ryle's leaving. Jasmine's stuck in Toronto. Dallas is being a whore. And after Dallas leaves her ex-girlfriend's house, the girl who was like, I fell in love with you, she goes back in to move with her best friend. And they live in like a pretty cool like little loft apartment. The only thing that bothers me is fucking her mattress is on like wooden pallets. And I'm like, mold? Bugs? Maybe. It was very, very, how bizarre. How bizarre. Um, and that's how I feel about that. But yes, so that's how the movie begins. We are introduced. Both of these women are missing something in their life. Dallas is having a lot of sex. It's assumed. She's very promiscuous. It's assumed. And she's not getting any sort of satisfaction or happy feelings from that. But she's hella gay, whatever, whatever. And Jasmine is kind of stuck in a very practical, stable, but boring relationship with her fiance, though she is content with it. She's not necessarily happy or sad, but she's content. The main scene that kind of like puts off this like, oh, she's kind of moving in a different direction than Ryle is when they're like sleeping on the couch together. Okay, it's like a little montage of their relationship. They're, like sleeping on the couch, and Ryle, is like laying back, and they're kind of like having their feet, like their legs are like intertwined, but they're on opposite ends of the couch. So Jasmine gets up and paints his nails. She like paints his nails. And she like, it's like something that you actually see her like smile, in the first time of the movie, like something, because she's a very like kind of like melancholic character. They both are kind of pretty sad. Like, I don't really like fun. Like, I'm just like, they don't really smile. And that's the first time that she's like kind of like enjoying herself, is painting her fiance's nails. And he wakes up from the nap and he's like, what is this? What are you doing? And she's like, you have excellent cuticles. Like, she's like, I'm making you pretty. Like a little playful action, something to insinuate that that's something she really wanted to do, something to say, hey, I have a little bit of personality in me. And, he's like, wipe it off. I gotta go to my conference, my flight. I have a red eye. Like, I gotta go. And like, she does it, and like her like that mask immediately falls back onto her face. So you get to see like, oh, she tries to have fun with Ryle, but he's not like that. And they're kind of, it's a little, action doesn't seem that important, but it's trying to insinuate, oh, okay, these are characters that seem to be in the same place, but actually aren't. Okay. Next part of the movie, Ryle leaves. Okay. Jasmine is by herself in Toronto. All right. Then you find out that Dallas is working on a house in the same neighborhood as Jasmine. So not Jasmine's house, but she's roofing and doing the roof for a house in Jasmine's neighborhood. And it's a morning scene. Jasmine's kind of like stepping out to go to work because she knows she does her work business, work thing, fashion work. I work, you know how it is, work thing, work. And the fucking roofers, Dallas only works with men because she's a big mask woman. Ooh, I only work with men. I'm in a male dominated area. Ooh, I'm so mask. She's looking down and they're all kind of like catcalling her and everything because Natalie Krill's very pretty. And they make eye contact, and Jasmine's like, oh shit, who's that tall, blonde looking, kind of nauseated because she's a really serious woman on top of that roof. Wow. And they have this reoccurring joke in the movie that's like, why do women like roofers? And she's like, I don't know, like that kind of thing. And this is their first contact, is her walking out of the house and Dallas seeing her, and she's like, damn, who's that baddie ass bitch? Well, whatever the fuck, that kind of shit. So Dallas works on the roof in the neighborhood, and that's assumed that it goes all day. Jasmine goes to work, and she has a scene where you kind of see that she's like good at her, she's a sassy girl at work, she's good at her job, she's just a spunky chick, because this model is like, I'm a vegan model, I don't wear real fur. It was like, I don't wear real fur, like I don't do that kind of thing. And then Jasmine comes in and she's like, you think I would allow real fur on this set? She was like, I've done this with this sponsor, like vegan and that kind of thing. And she's like, the coat is faux. Okay. And then the model's like, oh, okay. She puts it on. And then homegirl from Carmilla, the web series. What the fuck is her name? No. What's her name? Oh no. Is it? Yeah, Elise Ballman. Bauman, homegirl from Carmilla, she's like her assistant. She's like, was that real? And she's like, it bought her time. So you find out, oh, Jasmine lied, and now the model's wearing real fur. She's a spunky gal, and she's good at her job. Go, girl. That kind of thing. So, she gets back from work. Erika's still working on the house. I keep calling her Erika. Fuck. Dallas is still working on the house with the roofing crew. They're like packing it up for the day. The sun is like setting, kind of to, insinuate passage of time. She's been there all day. She gets back from work and she climbs down from the house and she's like, let me take you out. And Jasmine's like, pass. And she's like, let me take you out. She's like, pass. So that's kind of how that interaction ends. And they kind of like go back home. Dallas goes back home. She's like, oh shit, I want to go out because I just broke up with my ex-girlfriend who was in love with me a day earlier. I'm ready for something new. And Jasmine goes out with one of her friends who we only get one scene of her in the movie, but she was actually like one of my like favorite characters actually. Her name is Claire, and Jasmine and Claire like go out and they're like kind of like walking the town, in Toronto. And Dallas's friend takes her to it was a lesbian party, a gay party. And obviously they already know the crowd. Everybody's there. They know the deal. They know the dealio. And here's the scene where they're both in the same like vicinity, okay? Because Claire takes Jasmine to the party. All right, Claire's like, yeah, let's just go in for a second. Jasmine's like, that's a gay party. I don't want to go in there. I have a fiance. He's a man. Like, throwing a whole ass fit. And Claire's like, bitch, just shut up. Let's go inside. So they go inside. Dallas is already there. Or actually, it might be the other way around. One of them got there first. And they see each other and like Dallas has this like fucking scary ass predatory look when she sees Jasmine. It's like target acquired. Sights locked. It's so scary and unsettling, and I'm like, damn, I don't want her, like, fuck. And that's how the movie begins. This is the beginning part of the movie. And so the party scene, this is supposed to basically set the groundwork for their undeniable chemistry they have as love interests in the movie. It's supposed to really hit hard on all the things that you're supposed to be like, I know this is something immoral and unethical because she's about to cheat on her fiance, but also, oh my God, she's connecting so well with Dallas. This scene does not do that. This scene comes off very predatory because Jasmine is like, no, I don't want to drink. No, I don't want to see you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. She keeps saying no, and Dallas is like, actually, let me follow you. Let me follow you. And then the running joke comes back of, why do women love roofers? Jasmine's like, why? And she's like, because we strip him and nail him all day. And then she's like, pass. And Dallas is like, what about a drink? And she's like, pass again. That kind of thing. It like comes back. So this is banter, basically, the banter. But Erika Linder's acting is so piss poor that the banter does not hit. It does not do the thing it is supposed to do. Because I don't care. I really don't. And it honestly just feels like you want to tell Dallas to leave this girl alone because she's like physically following her in the entirety of the party, and you're just like, wow, I really don't want to root for this because it's an invasion of somebody's personal space. It's not listening to somebody's denial, first of all, and it bothers you kind of like when you're watching it. Like, it's kind of bothersome as you're seeing it, and you're just like, god damn, can you leave this fucking bitch alone? Like, it's not cute. She doesn't have the charm to pull it off, because they know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do like the, oh, she's playing hard to get and Dallas is like pursuing her, that kind of thing. But Erika Linder, Dallas's character, doesn't have the charm it takes to pull off that level of charm in order for this scene to be successful. Not at all whatsoever. I could see maybe, let's talk about Shane from the L Word. If this was Shane, pants gone, boxers off. Come on now. That's an actor with charm. That's somebody who has a little bit of prowess to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they know what they're doing. Dallas does not. It gives, oh, I'm afraid of you, Miss Predatory. I'm scared of you. So that scene goes on back and forth, and then Jasmine goes out on the terrace. Dallas follows her because I think she's gonna go smoke a cigarette because she's like, oh, I'm so hard, young, hot. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette on the Toronto terrace. Oh my god. And then Dallas sees that Jasmine is engaged. And she makes a joke about like, oh shit, fucking, that thing burned me. Like she's like a vampire because fucking not supposed to mess with people who are in relationships. But Dallas is like, I don't give a fuck, because she doesn't. And that's how this scene starts. So Jasmine like backs up against like the wall on the outside of the balcony, and like Dallas pins her in with her arms. She's like looking, and then they kiss. Well, Dallas kisses her, but Jasmine kisses back, and then she like pulls away and she like leaves. And then fucking Claire, who was Jasmine's friend, was flirting with like the bartender, and then also flirting with fucking Dallas's friend who brought her to the party. It was like a little like thing, and they were like dancing together. That's why I fucking liked her, because she had more chemistry with her Dallas's fucking friend than the two main bitches in the fucking movie did. And I was like, what the fuck? Why can't I learn more about them? Why gotta learn about this scary ass fucking tall bitch just following people and not listening to the word no? Anyway, they leave. Jasmine and Claire leave, and Jasmine's like freaking out on the side of the street. She's like, oh my god, I kissed her. And Claire's like, kissed who? And she's like, she kissed me and I kissed her back, okay? And I don't know what to do, and she's like, I'm getting married, and Claire's like, you and Ryle are literally like meant to be together, like don't even worry about it. She's basically like, bitch, chill out, like you're fine. You shouldn't be making a big deal out of this. But Jasmine is obviously making a big deal out of it because she's like, oh my god, that was my gay awakening. Oh my god, she's there and so hot and sexy, even though she fucking followed me the whole night, and I said no, but she still followed me on the balcony, and I still kissed her. So that scene happens. So the next day occurs. Well, little caveat to see how much of a dick Dallas is. The bartender at the party is somebody that Dallas's friend has had dibs on for like months. And after Jasmine leaves and Dallas can't get her dick wet, she just goes to the bartender and is like, hey, and the bartender's like, oh wow, my legs are spread, okay, let me go home with you. So she fucks the bartender, who her friend was supposed to like be working on. So that's how much of a dick Dallas is. But next morning Jasmine wakes up. She's like, oh my god, I'm a new woman. I am a new woman. Wow, this is so, everything is new. Wow, I'm kind of freaking out, but I need to put on a straight face. And she goes outside and she remembers that fucking Dallas is working on the house. So, they see each other again. And, Dallas like tries to make some passes at her. And Jasmine's like, no. This next day is fast. They don't really talk about what she does at work. And she gets home. And Dallas is still there working on the house, like the same thing from the previous day. And Dallas is like about to go in her truck, and Jasmine like comes back outside, and she's like, okay, one drink. That's it. That's all I'm doing. One drink. And Dallas is like, sick, tight. Okay, cool. She's like, I'll be back in an hour. So it's a little montage scene of them getting ready for their date. Jasmine's like, what am I doing? Oh my god. Dallas is getting ready, mask girl. She's like, oh my god, I'm about to wear that tie. Damn. Oh my god, everything. She comes back, picks her up, takes her to a bar. Okay, takes her to a bar. So here's where this movie gets like, what the fuck is happening? Because the like next 30-40 minutes are just so, we'll just get into it. So they go to the bar. Jasmine's like, kind of being polite, but it definitely feels like she's just there to just like appease Dallas. Dallas is doing her best to like be like, oh, I'm so hot, mask girl, be seduced by me. They don't have chemistry in any of their scenes, especially the ones where they're supposed to have banter. Okay, they don't have chemistry. And this scene, mama, this scene, uh, they're talking, okay, and then Dallas, well, the way they're sitting at the corner of the bar. The bar is like it's like a rectangle. They're sitting at the corner. And the corner is between them, so they're facing each other in front of a window, sitting. But Dallas can easily reach out and touch Jasmine's legs because she's wearing a dress, which is what she does. She reaches out and she puts her hand on her thigh. Jasmine's like stiffens, but she doesn't remove it. So then Dallas starts working her hand up her thigh, and when you're watching, you're sitting there screaming at your TV like, can you ask consent? Because she didn't say anything. She's just like, okay, now let me just put hand on thigh. And that's how it starts. By it, I mean the sex scene, because Jasmine gets up and she's like, I have to go. And then Dallas follows her, and then they fucking make out on the side of the alleyway next to the bar. And it's like really sexual. But then like these people walk by and they stop, and then they go to fucking Dallas's truck, which he parked out back. And then they almost fuck on the truck. And then they go back to Dallas's loft that she shares with her roommate, and then it's a really, really long, drawn out sex scene. Here's the thing. Obviously, sex in movies, it happens. Good sex scenes are kind of hard to find. This one, it's not bad in the sense that it's unrealistic, because it kind of is. They're doing the right stuff. Erika Linder, I'm pretty sure, is a lesbian, and I think Natalie Krill is also some variation of queer. So, the emotions are everything. Sexually, they have chemistry together. They do. They're going at it. I mean, mama, they are fucking kissing, touching, and getting it on. They are. They're doing it, and they're doing it good. I can't say that, because sometimes some lesbian movies, some of y'all bitches look like you're kissing your sister. Okay, they are not. It's the length of these scenes. And how, like, you just hear noises. Because sometimes some scenes have too much music. Some scenes you can't hear the passion in the actors. These scenes don't have any. So you hear, like, everything. Not everything. Everything. So, you got it. You hear all the shit and everything that happens. And what makes me laugh is, they're like not, they haven't made it to the bed. They're doing the thing in like movies where, they're on every single surface but the bed. So they're on the counter, they're against the wall, they're up against the fridge. You find out Erika Linder fucking Dallas wore a strap to the goddamn date to the bar, and she takes out the strap, and fucking they getting it on, and it's hot. It's just too fucking long. And I mean that. It's too long. Too long. Too long. And I'm so serious. I'm like, when is this shit gonna end? Because the novelty of the scene wears off. The oh my god, they're gonna finally have sex after breaking the tension. It wears off, and you're just like, are they still going? Like, goddamn, that's how fucking long this scene is. So then that happens, and because there's like 3 sex scenes in this one scene. They have like sex like 3 times in this one scene. So that ends. And this begins the affair portion of the movie. Like I was saying, this 30 to 45 minutes, that's like, what the fuck is happening? Because it's literally just them being like, okay, we got these characters together, and now let's try to branch them out. Okay. So the next day they have this like very domestic bliss moment where they're like in public, like doing like little couple things. They like go on like a not a ferry. Is it a ferry? They're going like a little boat on like the sea in like Toronto, and like around a body of water. They're on a thing that floats around a body of water, but I don't know what to call it. Jasmine's wearing like a studded leather vest all of a sudden. She's like really, really high femme, very, very hyper feminine. And then all of a sudden she's just in like androgynous clothes. And I'm like, okay, we get it. You like women. You don't gotta be like that. And then they tell this story about Dallas's past. How her mom is apparently pissed that she's a roofer in Toronto. Apparently, she's canonically Swedish in the movie, which I think just goes well because she has a bit of an accent. It's not that bad. But yeah, she's canonically Swedish. Her mom's pissed about her being a roofer, and they have this right here is the best part of the movie. This conversation that they have a conversation about the like hypocrisy of coming out and the coming out and scene about revealing your homosexuality to people, and how you come out but you never stop, because you have to tell fucking coworkers, or you have to tell new friends that you make, oh, I like women, you never stop that conversation. So Dallas is like, I don't come out anymore, I just am who I am, which probably the thing she said in the movie that has the most substance, I'm not gonna lie to you, because that is some sort of like something that has some sort of depth, the idea that you never stop coming out once you start. And I like that part about her character. That's about the only thing of quality in that scene, because then it's just more domestic bliss. It's just more of them kind of just doing coupley stuff. They go on like a merry-go-round. It's very weird. And then they fucking get back. They like get back to her place, have more sex. Have more sex. They like go back, and then like the next morning they fuck, and it's like, again, so quiet, like just sounds, noises, just motions, things. It's too long to. Then after the sex scene, Ryle calls Jasmine and is like, hey, I'm coming in. No, sorry. Hey, my flight got delayed. I don't think I'm gonna be back for a little bit. And then they talk about some like wedding shit. And Erika's like, okay, let me fucking go be toxic and shit. And so, she kind of gets upset, but then Jasmine's like, no, it's okay. But also, like, I'm engaged, so I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I don't care. I don't. They have more domestic bliss. Whatever. So this is the second day of their affair, kind of. There's nothing really of importance that happens, honestly. What happens on the third day is obviously that's when Ryle is like supposed to get back, because apparently he was able to get another flight, so he can come back in the 3 days. So okay. So this next scene is what happens. Is okay. So they're really sad because she has to drop Jasmine back home because her fucking fiance is coming back, and they're like, basically they're in love at this point. They're in love with each other. I don't care. As a watcher, you don't care. That's the experience that you receive, is that you don't give a fuck that these characters are now like leaving each other and have to stop being together in a relationship. Checking to see if I'm still recording. Okay. Yeah, you don't give a fuck. You don't. And they're like outside the house. It's raining, obviously, because it's always, fucking weather dictating the mood of the scene. So they're outside the house, Jasmine's house, and Dallas is like, I don't want you to go. Yeah, and then they start fucking making out, and then fucking shit happens. Shit and shit. Then they have this like thing where they start like slapping each other. It's really weird. Like Dallas slaps Jasmine, and then Jasmine slaps Dallas, and then they go back and forth. And then they're like making out, like almost fucking again. Like they're almost like fucking outside, and then they almost fuck against the truck in the rain. And then Jasmine's like, let me take you inside, and fuck you inside my house. Basically, that's what happens. So during this time, you realize you get a scene of them basically like crawling up the stairs together as they're gonna go fuck. It looks like Twister, honestly. It's so fucking funny. And then you get a cutaway scene of Ryle being like, I actually got an early flight in and I'll be home in like 10 minutes. And then you're like, aha, oh my God, he's gonna catch them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. He's gonna catch them. So they're like going up the stairs and then they're in the bathroom, which I skipped the masturbation scene earlier because it honestly, it doesn't amount to any fucking thing. It doesn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So they're like going up the stairs and they're gonna fuck in the goddamn bathroom, and you're just like, goddamn bitch, y'all are just gonna go at it again. She's got the strap. She wore the strap. So they are currently bumping uglies in the bathtub, fully stood up, doggy in the bathtub, just going at it, just cheeks clapping. Dallas putting in work, Jasmine doing her thing, going at it. One last sex, one last, bump ugly before, you got to say goodbye to her forever because she's about to go get fucking married. And then Ryle comes in. Oh, shit. And at this point, because you have no emotional connection to these characters, because all you care about, honestly, is them having sex, and the sex scenes are too long and they didn't branch them out enough, you don't care when they get caught, honestly. I didn't care. Even the first time I watched the movie, I felt the lack of that like emotional connection to them. So when they got caught, I was like, honestly, good for you, Ryle, because you don't deserve this fucking bitch. Like, you need somebody better. So fucking Dallas gets dressed and fucking leaves, and takes it off, and she's like, oh shit, I gotta go. Jasmine like is going around. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for you to see that. And blah, 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 blah. And here comes the falling action of the movie, because that was the climax, is Ryle catching them. This is falling action of the movie. Dallas is so sad. This bitch is fucked up. She's sad as fuck. We haven't seen her this sad. She's like sad montage, her barely paying attention at work, roofing, even when she goes out, that kind of thing. Jasmine is just doing her best to like make it up to Ryle. Like, they have a conversation. She's like, what can I do to put us back on track? What can I do? Because they have a conversation, and Ryle is like, you cheated on me. And she's like, it's a woman. And he's like, that doesn't fucking matter, because it doesn't. And he's like, are you gay? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. Ryle's like, are you gay? And she's like, I know, I'm not gay. She's like, what can I do to keep us together? What can I do to put us back on track? And he's like, I need you to end it with her. I need you to end it. I need it to be over. And she's like, okay, I'll go. And he's like, I'll take you. So she's all fucking fucked up, sad, and they like go to fucking Dallas's apartment, or her place that she keeps with her friend, with the bed on the pallets. And they go have their final breakaway moment. And again, Erika Linder, I know you don't act, but you look in pain rather than sad in this scene, because she's like trying to be sad, but it's just not, it doesn't work. And Natalie Krill at least has some acting prowess, because she was in she's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Winona Earp too, and she's not a bad actress, but it's when your partner gives you nothing that you really can't do anything with that, because Erika Linder is giving nothing in this movie, absolutely nothing at all in this movie. Excuse me. And the scene of them breaking up, again, there's a lack of I guess heartache. It doesn't feel the way it's supposed to feel. I know, because you're supposed to have liked these characters. You're supposed to want them to be together. You're supposed to start to mourn the threat of mourning the loss of their relationship because of them being together and liking each other and having a connection. But all of those things I just listed, they don't really have. They don't really have a connection. They don't have any sort of banter. There's no really like cool relationship dynamic they have. They just have had a lot of sex. That's what it feels like. It's just scenes stringed together, and then some really, really intense sex scenes, and that's really it. And that's what their relationship feels like, just really good sex. So when they try to pass it off, like these characters are so head over heels for each other. Oh my God, I'm in love. I'm so in pain because I don't get to be with this person anymore. You don't believe it. It doesn't feel true because you literally don't give a fuck. You don't care. You do not care. You don't give a rat's ass when they break up, supposedly, when they break up. So they break up. It's supposed to be sad, and they're like kissing and hugging. Blah, 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 blah. And then Jasmine goes out to fucking Ryle in the car, and then Ryle gets to see like how sad she is, and he doesn't even like poke at her or anything like that. So then the movie continues. Jasmine and Ryle seemingly try to make things work, try to fix it, keep it together, put it together for the wedding, for the sake of their relationship. They try. Okay. Dallas is still spiraling. She's going downward. And then she has this like fucking weird ass scene where she goes out and she's like, this bar ain't shit. This shit ain't shit. Then she goes to a strip club. Okay. And apparently this is like a booty call thing that she used to have. She used to have a stripper that was like really into her, because she goes into the club and like specifically asks for her, and then like, you know, she goes to a private room and the girl comes in and she's like, I missed you. And it's like I kind of like, okay, like she got it like that. She got bitches like that, like damn. And you know, she's giving a lap dance and everything, and then she, you know, they start to like have sex, and then a security guard comes in and, you know, she gets fucking pissed at her, and she's like, oh, no, she wanted me. She started to touch me. And then the security guard says something, I'm pretty sure, homophobic. And I think she punched him in the face. I could be imagining that. But something happens and she gets kicked out of the club. And so she's drunk and like fucked up. So then you find out that she goes and is like leaning up against the door of somebody's apartment and is like half-ass knocking, you know. And then you find out it's the girl from the beginning, the ex-girlfriend that she left, who's in love with her. And she knows is in love with her. And she knows is in love with her. And you find out that, you know, she went to go to her door. And she lets her in. And it's like, what the fuck? Because earlier in the movie, again, I didn't mention this part because it wasn't that important. But the ex-girlfriend, like, called Dallas and was like, I need you to come get your stuff. And Dallas was like, you should know better than to know. You should know better about me to know I don't care where my stuff ends up. Like, basically really giving, like, this really dick, standoffish, I don't care, aloof attitude, basically. And then when it mattered, she was coming and, like, knocking on her door, being like, help me. And then so they have a little conversation, and, like, Dallas is like, I'm in love. And she's like, shit, it's been literally 5 days. She doesn't say that, but she lets her in the apartment, and then, you know, they get back together. No, they don't get back together. She kind of drops her off at her friend's place afterward. And then that's the last we see of Dallas, really, until like the end of the movie. This last scene right here is where shit gets kind of like foggy. So Ryle and Jasmine again have been trying to place it together. In a previous scene, you know, again, they were talking about, like, she was like, it was a woman, it doesn't really matter, you know, I don't really care. And then he goes, you never were like that with me, talking about the sex, because Miss Girl was, I can do it, put your back into it, you could do it, put your back into it. Like, she was like getting it, basically. And he was like, you ain't never done that shit for me. And so they try to have sex. So they're kissing and, you know, touching, full frontal male nudity in this movie, by the way. Kissing, touching, everything, doing the thing. And then Jasmine breaks down and she's like, oh my God, wow, I can't do this. And you find out, you know, oh shit, I might be gay. Damn. They got me. I got the gay. Fuck. Sorry, I just got an email. So that's like where the movie really ends. Like you see that last scene with Dallas with the stripper, and she gets kicked out and she goes to her ex-girlfriend's house. Then you see the scene where Jasmine tries to have sex with Ryle, doesn't work out. then we just get this like fade to black moment. Okay, we just get this fade to black. Then all of a sudden, you just see Dallas walking in this like she's in a fucking blue sweater with a cup of coffee. Okay, 2 cups of coffee. And they're at that like fairy place again where they were like near the water, where they had their little domestic bliss moment earlier in the movie. And she's next to Jasmine and puts her arm around her. So it's assumed that they're together. And Jasmine is like, I told my coworkers about you, And then Dallas is like, what'd you tell them? And she just goes, everything. And that's how the movie ends. And I need a lobotomy. That's how it ends. So we have no like explanation of how they got together or anything. I'm assuming Jasmine realized, oh shit, I'm gay, broke off her relationship with Ryle, and then just called Dallas and was like, hey, this pussy is yours. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm just assuming. But yeah, that was below her mouth. Yes, if you're a little confused by the ending, so was I. So was every single person I've forced to watch that movie with me. Have all been like, what the fuck was that ending? Because it really just comes out of nowhere. You think there's going to be some like resolution. Well, that's the resolution. You think you're going to get some context to it, but nope. It literally is just like fade to black. It's like, okay, you figure it out. You tell me what you think happened. And it's just like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's below her mouth. I kind of poked on it throughout the entirety of this synopsis review. But the main problem here, besides the writing, well, the writing is the main problem. You don't care about these characters. You don't care about these characters at all. They failed to set them up in a desirable way. Okay. And 2, in an interesting way. Because, you're kind of more inclined to be drawn to Dallas because of her like promiscuous ways and everything. But here's where the acting comes in and ruins that. Because if Dallas was just a very kind of messy, sex crazed individual, but she was really charming, it would have given her character more appeal. The way Erika Linder plays her, and I'm not sure this was the writer's intent, makes her come off as just more of an asshole. Because I don't like Dallas at all. I feel very ambivalent about Jasmine. I'm kind of more leaning towards I don't like her, but not as much as I don't like Dallas. I don't like Dallas in the slightest. I don't like her attitude, how she treats other people. She's very inconsiderate. She's really selfish. And you don't like her character. So when the ending comes and she just gets everything she wanted despite being an asshole to her friend, to her ex-girlfriend, to a bunch of people in the movie, you're like, damn, like, does it not matter? Like, does that not matter? And then Jasmine, we get to see her kind of go through this journey with her sexuality, but she kind of, you don't cheat on people. You don't cheat on people. They try to set up her and her fiance are gonna make it work, but then you find out, oh shit, she tried to have sex with him and then she was cried. So it's like, damn, like I might actually be gay. So the main falling points of this movie are that writing, because you do not care about these characters. When they start to branch out of their backstories, I'm gonna get a drink of water. Give me one sec. When they start to branch them out, talk about their backstories, what makes them them, everything about them, you don't care because you already got what you wanted. You already got a 10-minute sex scene beforehand, and you're just like sat there like, oh, okay, like I guess you guys already had sex and kind of fulfilled that, so now I get to learn about you now. Like, I don't really care if they switched up the order of the movie. Perhaps if they had a more in-depth intellectual conversation before they had sex, that would have made the sex, 1, more emotional, and 2, a little bit more fulfilling. But it just starts off as this very passionate, intense attraction, sex. To me, I don't believe these characters are in love with each other. I'm only believing it because the movie shows that to me. But if these were just two people, I don't believe it, because it just feels like they had 3 days of domestic bliss, constant fucking. Oh, and I guess now I guess I'm in love with her. Like, that's what it feels like. It doesn't read as love to me. It doesn't feel deep enough for love. There's a lack of depth everywhere in this movie. Everywhere. I think one thing, and this is my last thing before I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast. Sometimes I do the thing where I watch a bad movie and I try to think of ways to make it better. And I thought about a way that could make this potentially better. Though, if this isn't the pretenses that Erika Linder is a better actress as well. I think if they passed off the movie, had some sort of voiceover with Erika Linder and Dallas, her as a character, and you got to see her innermost thoughts, and you got to see her as a character who is extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? Searching, is seeking out love. You know, feels like it's something that she'll never receive, but something that she just happens to stumble upon. I think the movie could be better, because then you get to see the more irrational behavior from her. Then you get to see her kind of be this more aloof, I guess, more assholey. It wouldn't do much, but if this is a person who was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna get what I want because this is what I want. I wear my heart on my sleeve, my emotions. If they were to revamp that character just slightly, change that angle slightly, made her more passionate, less, I guess, lust-filled, more like in search of those deeper feelings, I think the movie could be executed much better, because then you could give her a depth. You could have made her have a conversation with Jasmine being like, you're gay, you like me, we need to do this together. You know, that's how I would have done it if I was a director. Had some sort of conversation where they get to talk about their feelings, because they don't really talk about their feelings in the entirety of the movie. They just are fucking and like each other, but they don't get to see, like, what is this? They don't really get to talk about it. I think if they did, I think if Erika Linder was that maybe a little bit more emotionally mature character, where she's like, hey, I know what this is. This is the beginning of love. We need to talk about it. Do you want to do this with me? Then it could be more heartfelt. That could be add more chemistry to her and Jasmine's character in general. But they didn't do that. They did not do that. I think that would be a way to make the movie better, but they did not do that. So, you know, that's just me speculating. Y'all let me know in the comments if you think that would make the movie better. But I'm gonna go ahead and run this triple shuffle, because I actually forgot it in the past 2 podcasts, and I don't want to forget it one more time. So my first song for the triple shuffle is I Got the Right Street, but I think it's Wrong Address, by Rufus, who is a interracial band, one of the first interracial bands in the 70s. They collabed a lot with Shaka Khan, if you're down with that whole like Motown, more like disco sound of the 70s. Made a lot of good songs together. Next song is I Got the Right Street, but I don't remember. Okay. Next song is J-Boy by the indie alternative band Phoenix. I got into them when I was like in like 2014. I was like, wow, this is like the best thing I've ever heard. It really wasn't, but I was just like in a mood where I just wanted to hear some music like that. So J-Boy. And last song for the triple shuffle is Down Rodeo, actually, by Rage Against the Machine. Talking about Rodeo Drive. I love this song a lot. It has the very famous line, hey, yo, I'm rolling down Rodeo with a shotgun. These people ain't seen a brown-skinned man since their grandparents bought one. If you're into Rage, I like you. I actually have a Rage Against the Machine poster in my room currently. But that is all the time I have this week, this day, for the podcast. I will be back next Friday to talk about whatever topic I'm going to talk about. I may debut it on my Twitter, which, if you are not following me on Twitter, what are you doing? What are you doing? It is at JBadlands. It will be in the description of this video. Once again, I will have my commission form in the description of this video. Please, 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 if you are interested in custom audios from me, custom audios, custom commissions from me, please feel free to click that link and go ahead and sign up for one. I will work with you. I will be so wonderfully kind and wonderful, and we can create something beautiful and amazing together. If you have listened this far, thank you for watching till the end of this video. Watch time really helps me be able to monetize my videos as well. And that's all the time I'm gonna have for. All right, I'm gonna get out of your hair. Baddies, stay safe, stay amazing, and stay sexy.